What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy CamATL, and welcome back to a MLB DFS video with your boy. Drop a like down below because I already know you're gonna love it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment anything in the comment section down below to enter your name into the $100 giveaway I'm gonna do this week on this channel, including the 50 that I'm already doing on all my videos, on all baseball videos. So every MLB video I make this week, whether it be for DFS or Prize Picks, make sure you're commenting anything in the comment section because I'm going to choose one person from one of these videos and give $100 to for the opening week baseball. It is opening day, ladies and gentlemen. All right, it is March 30th. Some of you probably watching this on March 30th. Some of you might be watching this on March 29th, the day before, the day I'm recording it. But I am so excited for opening day tomorrow. I already have like 10 to 15 lines that I'm loving for tomorrow already. Obviously, most of the videos will be done on the Greenlight Optimizer. We're still working on the Greenlight Optimizer as of right now, so I'm on DraftKings. Excited to get this money, man. I'm not going to keep up too much of y'all's time, but let's go position by position real quick. As you know, I'm going to lock in 5 guys as normal, and then we're going to kind of break down position by position real quick at the end and kind of get an idea of what we're looking like, all right? So, first and foremost, let's talk pitching because you guys know you get your pitching right first, and then you figure the hitters out after, okay? On this opening day slate, obviously, we're going to have a ton of aces. Every team's ace is pitching. It is going to be one of those days where it's just a ton of aces here, right? But there are some price discrepancies that we're going to take advantage of that I feel are just too low for certain guys. First guy that we're going to talk about is Jacob deGrom. He's at the very top of the list, and he might be a guy that you're really like wanting to play, right, for Texas. I mean, I'm super excited to have him here in Texas. As you guys know, I grew up in Atlanta, moved to Texas a while back, and now I've been in Texas for a long time. I'm excited to go to some games and see Jacob deGrom pitch in person. Never seen him pitch in person, so that'll be cool. But Jacob deGrom is not fully stretched out yet. Okay, he's not ready to pitch his normal over 100 pitch count. Okay, so yes, he can rack up the strikeouts, no doubt. Okay, going against a Reese Hoskins list Philly team as well. But the problem is that with him not being stretched out, you're really aiming for him to get a ton of strikeouts in about 75 pitches, which is what he's expected to go here opening day, about 75, maybe 80 most. But he's not going to get in the hundreds. So if I'm spending up for an ace, I want a guy at home and pitching in the hundreds, and that's going to be Garrett Cole. I'm going Garrett Cole as my ace, man. I absolutely love this spot for Garrett Cole. He's at home in New York, going against San Francisco here. Fantastic spot, man, especially at home. Garrett Cole is so good at home. New York are solid favorites to win this game today. I really love this spot for him here. The only negative for him is the wind is expected to be blowing out, but Garrett Cole's just a fantastic option. Yes, he can give up those home runs from time to time, but his K rate is absolutely elite. This San Francisco lineup has almost a 23% strikeout rate versus righties. They only have a 277 WOBA versus righties. They don't have a ton of power versus righties. This is a solid spot for Garrett Cole at home to come in and just dominate. And when it comes to the aces, I just love the matchup. I love how deep he's expected to go. Like, he's stretched out. He's a guy that's going to pitch a good amount of pitches. And I definitely love this spot for him to have some success here in this one. All right? So Garrett Cole is my number one. Number two is pretty self-explanatory for me. Shane McClanahan is an absolute stud. Shane McClanahan is a beast. I don't know if y'all remember last season or not, but this dude won me so much money last year. By the way, this is the final day for the early bird season long special. So if you want to ride with the squad for the season, go to greenlightdfs.com and grab the MLB early bird season deal. That is, today is the last day that is available. Tomorrow we'll have daily and weeklies dropping in the morning. Okay, Shane McClanahan is an absolute ace. Okay, and he's also expected to pitch a good bit of pitches here in this one. So in this position where you've got an ace in Shane McClanahan facing an offense like Detroit at home in Tampa Bay, which is a pitcher-friendly ballpark, okay, and he's only 7-7 and he has an elite level K rate, Shane McClanahan is a fantastic option on this slate. At 7-7, that's just too low for a guy of his potential. Like, the dude's got so much potential here in this one. We're expecting right around 100 pitches out of him. Garrett Cole, we're expecting over 100 pitches out of. Both of these guys are absolutely elite options here. So love Shane McClanahan, love Garrett Cole. These are the two pitchers I'm starting off with, and we'll go back to pitchers and talk about some other options that could be in play for us. But for right now, let's go ahead and get to our batters. All right. Now, first batter I want to talk about is going to be somebody who is an absolute monster in this position. Okay, Atlanta, my Braves, baby, which we're gonna have a huge season this year once again. Um, I absolutely love this opening day matchup against Patrick Corbin, the lefty, for a lot of these Braves guys. As you know, we've got a lot of righty power, so lefties are in danger when they face us. I'm gonna start this off with Ozzie Albies. This is one of the top total games of the entire slate, and for good reason. Okay, Patrick Corbin is decent. He had some decent moments last season, but he's just not very good. Okay, and Atlanta's offense has so much power on that right side of the plate. Facing lefties, it's just dangerous. Ozzie Albies is an elite level hitter versus left-handed pitching, and he's only 3.9. You get exposure to one of the top team offenses of the day for opening day, and he's just too cheap at 3.9. So I'm starting the day off with a little bit of Ozzie Albies. Love him. Next up, I'm going another Brave because it just is what it is. I'm not doing this because I'm a Braves fan. I'm doing this because not only is this one of the top totals of the day, but the matchup against lefties is fantastic for these guys. Austin Riley is an absolute monster versus left-handed pitching. Dude is in a great spot, okay? Going against Corbin, dude's got a 381 ISO facing Corbin, a 468 WOBA versus Corbin. Like, he has just absolutely demolished him. Facing lefties in general, Austin Riley has a 246 ISO, 385 WOBA, almost a 300 batting average, and he's 4'6". A lot of these Braves guys should be over 5K. Of course, you're going to see Acuna over 5K and all that, but Riley should be higher than this. This is too low, and I'm 100% stacking Atlanta if they're looking like they're not going to be high owned in a spot like this versus Corbin. Obviously, it would be even more ideal if they were at home in Atlanta, but I don't give a damn. Austin Riley and Ozzie Albies are just elite level options. Ozzie Albies versus lefties, same as Riley. Damn near almost a 300 batting average versus lefties. A 206 ISO versus lefties. Just so much power throughout this Atlanta offense. Man, it's a dangerous game for Patrick Corbin to be opening the season off with. Also, Ozzie Albies versus Corbin has been deadly. Dude has a 643 ISO versus Corbin individually, and a 735 WOBA versus Corbin. I mean, that is ridiculous numbers. I love Ozzie Albies and Austin Riley to start the day off. Next up, I was very shocked to see this dude projected to lead off. Joey Gallo, as of right now, okay, I don't have a ton of I have what can be predicted to me. I don't have official lineups out, but Joey Gallo is expected to lead off for Minnesota here against Kansas City. Obviously, anytime Joey Gallo is in a lineup, he has double dong upside. We already know that. Joey Gallo is somebody who is just an absolute power guy. Like, he could definitely strike out 4 times and then on his 5th hit a home run. Or he could definitely go out and strike out every at-bat and get you a 0. At the end of the day, at 3-1, in another offense that I have some interest in, because I believe the wind is blowing out here in this one, he's projected to lead off, got the lefty-righty matchup against Zach Greinke. I mean, this is a spot where Joey Gallo could come out and really, really do damage. I don't understand why they would have a guy like Gallo lead off. That's what's projected, but we will see what happens, obviously. Keep an eye on the starting lineup. I mean, it would make a lot more sense if Gallo was like 5th or 6th. But either way, it doesn't matter whether he's leading off or whatever. He's got the righty-lefty matchup against Zach Greinke. Wind is blowing out. Let me verify that. Let me be 100%. Yeah, wind is blowing out to left field at 21 miles an hour. Projected to be extremely heavy winds out to left, which is great for righty power especially, but for either side is going to be great amount of wind for both sides, okay? So Joey Gallo being a lefty, you would wish the wind was blowing heavily out to right, because obviously that's best for lefty. Like, lefties, most of the time pull it to right field, so you want the wind out to right. Righties, pull the ball to left field, you want the wind out to left, majority of the time. But here, the wind is so strong, it just doesn't really matter. Now, Gallo is a boomer bust kind of guy, but I really love the potential for him, especially if he's possibly leading off. We'll obviously see about that. When lineups drop and stuff like that, different values will open up. But this is my high five I'm going to rock with for opening day. Garrett Cole facing San Francisco at home in New York. New York is favored to win this game. Garrett Cole should rack up the strikeouts. He's stretched out, so he's going to get over 100 pitches. Shane McClanahan is an absolute ace. This price is disrespectful at 7-7. The type of season he had last year. Yes, he slowed down at the top at the end of the year, but he had the highest strikeout of any pitcher in the league for a minute last year. Like, dude's got 30+% K rate. Like, Shane McClanahan is elite, and he's at home in Tampa Bay facing Detroit. Amazing spot for Shane McClanahan here. Joey Gallo, as I said, is projected. We don't know 100%, and it's weird that he would be leading off, but he's projected to lead off. No matter what, though, he's in an offense that I want some exposure to. I love Minnesota spot today for opening day, and I definitely want some exposure to that with how heavy the wind is blowing the outfield. A lot of runs could be put up, okay? Ozzy Albies, Austin Riley from Atlanta. These guys are just two of the cheaper options on this Atlanta squad, which is ridiculous because facing a left-handed pitcher, it shouldn't be that way. Ozzy Albies and Austin Riley are absolutely elite batters versus left-handed pitching, and they just seem too cheap for me in what should be one of the highest scoring offenses of the day in Atlanta. So I really love this spot for those two. All right, let's go position by position and talk about some guys. Let's start off at first base. So other options at first base real quick that stick out to me. One of the guys that I have some interest in is Jake Cronenworth at home in San Diego going against Marquez. A lefty-righty matchup for Cronenworth. Great spot for him. Some other guys for Boston. You've got a cheap first baseman of Tristan Cassis. I think that's how you say his name. Tristan Cassis, lefty, projected to bat sixth, I believe. He's got the lefty-righty matchup against Kyle Gibson. Wind is blowing out to right at 14 miles per hour, and this is a lefty. He's only 2.9. Gets you some value in there as well. Who else? Some other top guys that I'm looking at. Anthony Santander is a guy that definitely showed some life last season. Great option against Kluber. He's going to have the lefty-righty matchup as well. Wind blowing out to right once again at 14 miles an hour. He will be batting on the left side of the plate. He's a switch hitter. He'll be batting on the left side. So that wind blowing out to right will definitely help Santander for sure. Those are the main guys that I'm really looking at that are definitely interesting to me. You have multiple options that are interesting, but mainly those guys are really sticking out to me as guys that I really have some interest in at first base. Second base, real quick, obviously Ozzy Albies at the top of my list. You can also play Cronenworth. You can also play Cronenworth at second base. Nick Gordon from Minnesota. I talked about really liking that Minnesota offense. Nick Gordon's a fantastic option here as well. Lefty-righty matchup against Greinke. Love the Minnesota offense with that wind blowing as heavy as it is to the outfield. Nick Gordon's a solid option at only 2.9. So get you exposure to also another team that's got a solid team total at 2 cheap. What else? Is that about it? That's about it for the core guys I like at second base. Like, yeah, there's some other options, but those are the two guys as well as Ozzy Albies that I really have interested in there. All right, third base. Let's take a look at third base. Obviously, our boy Austin Riley in the high five. Love him. Rafael Devers. You can never really go wrong with Devers. Dude is just a monster. He's at home in Boston. Lefty-righty matchup against Kyle Gibson. Wind blowing out to right at 14 miles an hour, which is going to be great for these lefties in this game. Boston, Baltimore, left-handed bats. Good spot for them in this game. Manny Machado can be played, but he's 5'4". I'd rather just spend up for Devers, or I'd rather spend down at 4.6 for Riley. Some other options, you've got Gunnar Henderson from Baltimore. Why am I over here? Third base. Gunnar Henderson, there he is. He's, once again, a lefty bat in this game with the wind blowing heavy out to right. Lefty-righty matchup against Kluber, another guy that you can play. Yandy Diaz, righty-lefty matchup against Eduardo Rodriguez in that game. But that's about it. Let's move on to shortstop. All right. At the shortstop position, Nick Gordon can also be played here. He's a value guy of 2.9 that's in that Minnesota game. I like his spot for sure. Wander Franco is a beast, as we all know. He can be played at 4.7. Oswald Peraza from New York as a value option. He can be played at only 2.2 if he is active in that lineup, but he is at the end of the lineup. I'd rather kind of balance out. I don't really care to play value guys if they're at the end of the lineup. I prefer to grab value guys who are at more of the top of the lineup and have more potential to score runs and all those different things. So most of the time I don't get involved in bottom of the lineup value, but Peraza's okay, I guess. Logan Webb's a tough pitcher too, but he is only 2.2 if you're trying to punt somewhere. O'Neal Cruz, lefty righty against Hunter Green. Hunter Green is a solid pitcher, though. I probably won't pick too much on that. Carlos Correa, another Minnesota guy, but he's 5.4. Shortstop's not the greatest of positions, to be honest with you. You either probably want to spend on like a Gunnar Henderson, you can play there as well. He's got the lefty righty matchup in that matchup, or go for a Nick Gordon value of 2.9, or Carlos Correa to go with your Minnesota stack, stuff like that. So let's move on to the outfield because obviously we got a lot of outfielders out here. All right. So obviously Aaron Judge will always be in play, but one of the spend ups I'm really liking is going to be Juan Soto. Sticks out to me. Wait, hold on. Juan Soto sticks out to me. Oh, come on, dude. There we go. Pay attention to him. Obviously, let's see what his little note talking about. Said after playing a B game Monday that he's really excited to be healthy to play for opening day, so he's good to go. Okay, Juan Soto lefty righty matchup against Marquez. Obviously, you wish this was in course, but the wind is blowing out to right at 9 miles an hour. Expected to at least. This is a day before the actual day, so we'll see how the weather turns out. But Juan Soto's a solid option. Marquez is a solid pitcher. He doesn't really let the ball get hit in the air too much. He's not like a scrub pitcher or anything. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, Juan Soto is a solid hitter, though. You know what I mean? He's going to put the bat on the ball, plain and simple. Okay? Obviously, in those Atlanta stacks, Ronald Acuna, but you're having to spend up for that at 5.7. Other guys that we could talk about. Let's see. So you definitely want your exposure to Atlanta here. You want your exposure to Minnesota as much as you can. Those are some offense I'm really liking. Boston and Baltimore I'm really liking. Alex Verdugo expected to lead off for Boston at 4K. Lefty righty against Gibson with that wind blowing out to right at pretty heavily. He's a solid option. Who else is really sticking out? Christian Yelich has a lefty-righty matchup against Stroman. Should be leading off for Milwaukee at 4.8. We know he's elite. Joey Gallo can also be played in the outfield. He's an option that I definitely like as well. Remember, this is one of those slates where it's like you've got other teams' aces pitching. That doesn't always mean they're the greatest pitchers in the world. I mean, obviously, you've got Corbin pitching for Washington. You've got Greinke pitching for Kansas City. Some of these ballpens are scrubbish. So there's definitely obvious spots that you want to attack. So it does kind of limit your options because so many guys are facing elite guys. Like as I'm going through here, obviously, you're not going to want a ton of San Francisco facing Cole. You're not going to want a ton of Kansas City in that Kansas City, Minnesota game because Pablo Lopez is pretty damn good. I mean, you can, sure, but he's pretty damn good pitcher. You're not going to want a ton of Miami because facing Scherzer. There are some obvious spots that you're not going to want a ton of Colorado against Snell. Certain spots like that. Like, you're not going to want a ton of guys against certain guys, especially in opening day and matchups like this. So, Marcell Ozuna is only 2.9. If he, in fact, is going to be in the lineup, make sure, obviously, that he's active in the lineup. But at only 2.9, Marcell Ozuna is a good pairing up, righty-lefty matchup. Projected to bat 7th, though. So, but we'll see how that goes. Obviously, make sure you're paying attention to the lineups when the official lineups drop. This isn't like basketball, guys. We're going to have the lineups pretty early. We're going to kind of have an idea of what we're looking like, and we're going to be able to post fairly early and all that stuff. So, GreenlightDFS.com, join the squad. We got Garrett Cole, Shane McClanahan, Joey Gallo, Ozzy Albies, and Austin Riley in the high five for opening day baseball. Now, I already know what you guys want. You guys want some home run predictions too, right? All right. Let's make some home run predictions on what we're thinking so far for this slate. There are a lot of options we can go with. First home run prediction player that I'm going to go with, though, that I think is going to have a big opening day is Byron Buxton. I'm going to rock Byron Buxton. As you know, the wind is blowing out heavy in this game. Really love Buxton with the power he possesses. I think he hits a home run, number one. I think that Ronald Acuna is going to get him one on opening day with the lefty-righty matchup against Corbin. Really love this spot for Acuna as well. I don't want to do any more studs. I'm going to talk about some value options that we can go with on this slate. I definitely just want to touch on as many different guys as we can get in. Let's see. Who else? Like, what value guys? Let me see. I wrote down a list of names. I'm trying to just tell you guys value options on this slate because I don't want to just talk spend up guys, obviously. I want to talk some value bats as well. Um, Now, obviously, Kyle Schwarber has the matchup against DeGrom, but Schwarber always has home run potential. He's 3.7. Joey Gallo, as we've talked about, sorry, no, he's 3.7 on FanDuel. I'm talking FanDuel prices there. But Kyle Schwarber is okay. I'm not predicting a home run out of him, though. I'm just saying he's a power bat. Joey Gallo is definitely a guy I want to go ahead and mention. He's got the lefty-righty matchup. Really, really like him as an option. What other values we got, man? What else? What else? What else? What else? Vladimir Guerrero is a solid spot for a home run as well. But my main guys, I'm going to go Buxton. I'm going to go Acuna. And I'm going to go Joey Gallo as my 3 home run calls for opening day. Thank you guys for joining me as always. Let's get this money, baby. As soon as as soon as some of the Vegas lines drop for baseball, I will make a PrizePicks video for baseball, and we'll talk about some options that we like. Obviously, over at propsmadeeasy.com, we'll have the MLB prop tool that will release that will obviously make finding your baseball props incredibly easy, as it always does. GreenlightDFS.com, baby. Go join the squad. Last day for the season-long membership today. Daily and weeklies will be available in the morning at GreenlightDFS.com. You can grab that, lock in. Let's have another fantastic season, man. Made so much money on MLB last year. It was one of my best MLB seasons I've ever had playing DFS. So I'm excited for another big year. Shout out to everybody who's excited for baseball, and let's get it. I'm out.